All right. How's that? Can you guys hear me now? All right, let's see here. All right. It's a little bit better. Okay, guys. Well, sorry for the technical difficulties. Just this is something new I'm trying. I actually still in and out the audio. I've got it turned down almost. I can turn down. I think one more. Let me try. Let me try turning it down one more bit. Let's see. All right. How's this sound? Is this better? The video is probably not going to be the best. I am in a hotel, so that kind of gets that. How's the audio? Is it still choppy? Okay. Well, I guess with all this kind of mesh, kind of the reason that it's all choppy like that is I am at a hotel. My name's Mark Groy. I'm the owner, founder, discoverer of 2dogrc. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Something I'm just trying out, something new. Get contact with the people we sell stuff to, and see what kind of feedback we can get from our customers on some stuff. A little background on me. I'm a pilot. I fly professionally and get paid for it, I guess. I fly for a company called Atlas Air. I travel quite a bit all around the world. Today I'm in Dubai. Yesterday I was in Kuwait. Tomorrow I'll be in Bagram and then Hong Kong, Anchorage, then down to Miami. So not only do I do the RC stuff, I do get around. I started Two Dog about 12 years ago. I sold, well, long time ago. I was uh, well, a baby airline pilot, and the 9/11 happened, and I had to find something else to do because that's not too stable of a job. So my buddy taught me how to buy stuff and resell it. He taught me how to. We were living in Dallas, and what we did was we put up flyers at the different RC clubs that said we pay cash for RC, kind of like a used car salesman in a way. So what we would do is we'd go into someone's house in Texas and give them pennies to the dollar on their items, and then we'd clean them up and sell them on eBay. Luckily, we never got shot. My friend did get a shotgun pulled on him. I mean, it's kind of dangerous in Texas. But that's how I kind of got into RC. I was able to buy stuff really cheap, play with it, sell it, and we were kind of giving new airplanes to most of the guys in the club. There's still people who know me from the big swap meet we did. We actually bought out a guy in Detroit, Michigan with about 80 some airplanes, put them in a Penske rental truck, and drove all the way down to Texas and sold them. So that's kind of how I got started in it. And then I got started in electrics. My buddy designed these little blue core foam warbirds about 31 inches, and he needed some electronics for it. So I happened to have some GWS stuff. Remember that geared 350s? And we put those on there and we flew combat. And that's how I got into flying the electric stuff. And I got hooked up with Dual Sky. We sold one 18 amp speed controller, I think. We had two motors, a blue and a red motor, and then a 1300 milliamp battery. That was my inventory. And it was really easy to keep track of that. So that was about 11 years ago. And then it just started going off from there. We've grown, transitioned through all the different phases. We've been through the foamy phase, we've been through the wood electric phase, the helicopter phase, where every week someone wanted a different brand 2200 3-cell. That was crazy. And now we're here in the quad phase. So that's how I got to be Two Dog. I guess another question would be, where did I come up with the name 2dogrc? Well, I was selling on eBay with my real name, And I figured I probably should do something different. So I was in the crew room with some guys, and we are just throwing around names and 2Dog, and sold the RC stuff because I had two dogs at the time. I've got two different dogs now, but still two. And so we kind of put that and then put warehouse on the end of it so it sounded bigger. So that's how we got 2dogrc. Now earlier on that other page, someone said I like that logo that I had up here earlier. It's the my little Mad Dog FPV logo, or little, that's the little Juan Diego Chihuahua. My friend Mike designed him for our batteries, and then I've got a nice friend of mine that drew, remodified him as an FPV logo with the goggles and the maybe a little more attitude, this tongue sticking out. So that's FPV logos. You can find him on Facebook. He did the new 2Dog logo as well, with the on the front page of the website with the two dogs, and those are actually my current two dogs. The little one's Milo, the bigger one's Sunny. So that's why that one's up there. Just trying to update it to some more up-to-date graphics. I mean, it's the quad guys are different. It's kind of like the RC car guys in a way compared to the other stuff. Oh, there he is. Sosa FPV right there. That's the guy. He did the logo. You can find him on Facebook on FPV logos under in the Facebook. He's really cool cartoonist drawing guy. He's working on some other logos for some other people. I know he did Turtle FPV and some more. So that's kind of me and the business. You guys got any questions about anything really? Anything as far as like the RC business world? Um, why we do things? What happens in the FPV world? If you got any questions like that, feel free to post them up here, and um, um, I can't spell, by the way. Uh, I am a pilot. I'm really good at math. So let's see. I had a couple things here just to throw out. One of the things that we just did is the big Black Friday sale, as you guys all saw that, and we had our Dale props on sale, the 5045 Cyclones. That seemed to be very popular, and I don't know. I usually fly Gem Fan just because that's what we had, and I was just kind of wondering if you guys, what do you guys think about the Dale versus the Gem Fan props? If you've flown both, or I know there's a lot of hype train out there, but just trying to see it in a real world situation, if you guys like the Dales better than the Gem Fans, or trying to get some more customer feedback on what you guys like. This industry moves very fast. We'll have a set of props in, and they're the hottest thing going, and then someone sneezes, and now no one will buy them. So it gets Dale V2s. Okay, yeah, that's what those Cyclones were. I think the Cyclones only come in 5045, so I don't know why. I just got a updated price list from Dale. We'll be adding some more Dale props to go with the Gem Fan. Talked to Gem Fan just the other night. Oh, Racecraft. Yeah, 5051. That's a lot. I know they're supposed to be really good, but they're expensive. I crash too much for that right now. Yeah, I agree with you, Iceberg. I've seen how you fly. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure those Racecraft are good. I've actually ordered some of the 4-inch props, just the regular ones, not the goofy looking ones, for the Diatone Crusader 2. I've got the 175, and that's got the I think RC. I think the difference is the tip. I mean, let me see if I can find a picture of the Dale's normal tri-blades here on the Infinus internet. Hopefully that won't slow it down too much. Really? Well, I hope the fours are good because I ordered a bunch of them. Yeah, the difference in the Cyclones and the other 5045s is the blade. The Cyclones have a really, I want to say like airplane. It's a much more professional um, blade. I think it's also a thinner and lighter, so you're going to get the spool up faster, the better low end. You're probably not going to get as much top end out of it and as much power, but they'll spool up faster, and that's really good for higher kV motors, and also when you're doing courses or freestyle, that you need to get that spool up. Like you're going to hit a tree or you're coming out of a corner and you want to get your prop RPM up faster. Uh, I just interesting fact on that one or idea. I was doing a lot of testing last weekend, and one of the things, obviously, you get a high current draw when you put your stick to the top, right? But also, when you do a hard 180 turn, you'll see very big amp spikes if you have an OSD that has that. And I was just watching, I think it was Ferrari. He was running the new Emax 2205 new red bottom 2600. And when he's cruising around, it was like 20, 30 amps. And then he did a hard 180 turn, and that pulled about 60 amps just turning. So I think that's dependent on your props you're going to affect there. So if it takes a lot of power to spool those props up, you're not going to have as efficient turn. Oh, really? Yeah, interesting. We're all starting to pop PDBs. The Red Rotor RLSD, that one's rated at 100 amps, probably 110 bursts, but they're these PDBs are definitely going to have to be able to handle a little bit more current. Ferrari was pulling, I think some of his peaks were 120-ish on those red bottoms on 4S, because it was 16.6 was the voltage. So a guy's going 5S and you're not propping down, you're going to be pulling a lot of current. Uh, Tip vortexing. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's interesting looking at all these motors that are coming out. Emax, they set that bar with the red bombs when they came out, and now every motor that comes out has got to be at least as good or better than in the thrust. About 1,300 grams. And it's interesting to see, how everybody likes a different kind of prop. Some guys like a heavier prop, some guys like the lighter prop, some guys still running two-bladed props, 6-inch instead of 5, and that's going to give you that they're lighter props, so it's going to spool up faster. Plus, probably less vibration, and that's another good thing. I don't know if you guys, excuse me, I have a drink here. Someone brought this up on a thread earlier about prop wash and tuning your P's and your D's, and that's kind of old school thinking a little bit. I mean, especially in Betaflight, Boris has really got everything really running well. And what I've noticed is I can change props and get rid of prop wash sometimes easier than tuning it. I was running some gem fan props, and I could not tune out the prop wash in those for the life of me. And then I put a two-bladed prop on and it was gone. So there's definitely a lot of mechanical stuff that goes into that. So if you've got a ship where you just cannot tune out the prop wash at all, then try a different prop. I mean, we've got a lot out there. You got your racecraft, you got your gem fans and your HQs and your Dells, but see if you can go down to the club or field or with your buddy and go, hey man, let me try your props out. And you might be surprised. It might be just that one thing to really finesse your tune. Ah, okay. So see, yeah, and those are the V2s or the old ones? Yeah, yeah. I been running some power. I got one set up that's got the power cap on it. Um, but okay, yeah, the V2s. Yeah, I ran. I didn't have much time to fly with those. I've actually got a little post. I took them out. Those V2s. I put the white ones and my on my QQ 190, and yeah, they flew really good. That ship's really tuned well. I've got a Fury F3 board on there, and it was running really good. But I mean, I like to test stuff out, and my friend was with me, I'm like, George, we gotta crash. I gotta see how these do when in a race scenario. If I nick a gate or I hit a tree branch, and he's like, Mark, back in the day flying wood airplanes, no one ever said, well, let's see how this does in a crash. And it was kind of interesting to have to crash something. So I thought they did pretty good. They bent in about the same place that my GemFan 5040s do, so wasn't I was kind of hoping for a little bit different because the blade's different, but I thought they did. Yeah, they definitely bend more than they break, and you gotta be careful of that, especially if you're using these kind of props, any of these unbreakable ones, you really should have ESC covers. And what we do is we just take a little piece of propeller, put it over your speed controller, and then zip tie it on, and that's going to help prevent any kind of props hitting your ESC and throwing pieces off. I think a couple of us have had that happen before. I've had two of them, and one actually caught fire. So that's a really good thing to do. Yeah, Andy knows about catching fire. So that's something to think about there too. Um, but we're always trying new stuff. GemFan, Dow, HQ, they're always out there trying to get the. Oh yeah, gift cards, that would be good. Trying to get something new out there. I know APC, I think, has got a new one. Covers. Yeah, I make my own, man. I have enough broken props laying around just to snip those off and zip tie it on there. Not really worried about the speed controllers overheating because we don't not pulling that much current most of the time. If you look, you're only pulling 20 to 30 amps total, so that's 8 to 9 per motor. So no big no big whoop there. But well, I did want to talk about some stuff. I got some. I was talking to Diatone today. We're working on a project with them. It's coming along well. We should have hopefully something to announce in a couple weeks. They've been really good at being progressive about what they're putting out. This Crusader 2, a lot of the stuff they put in there was input from people flying it and to people from the first Crusader and the tyrant of what they wanted. They put a real camera in there. And I've seen a couple other ships that have come out on the market, and they're close, but a couple $100 more. I think you should be able to buy a good racing ship out of the box. It should be just under $300. I mean, a lot of these ships you can go out and fly like that. So, paying $500-600, that's $200 you could be buying batteries with. So that's something that we're working on with Diatone to make something good, because we all crash. So you got to make it kind of crash resistant. For a reseller like me, I'm not marketing the top 1% of racers because they're going to fly really what they need to fly to win. It doesn't matter who pays them. They're going to fly what they need to win. So, and that's different stuff daily. I mean, those guys are. I mean, Fridays he's got 3 ships and he probably tests tons of equipment constantly. So what we're trying to do is get good things that most of us can fly. I mean, I'm going to try and sell something that 8% of you guys would buy instead of 5%, with and get it out there, get good support, good videos, and let you guys fly it and crash the crap out of it. I got this guy in Hawaii. He's got a Crusader and he's loving it, man. He just I think I put those on the Facebook page, but he was racing and running in the gates and everything, and he thought it was over, but he kept going. So that's the kind of stuff we're trying to get out with them. Um, you'll see here Mr. Iceberg FPV. That's one of our sponsored pilots, and he's going to be down in Florida at the end of January. I think it's the 24th through the 28th. There's this big FPV race. I think it's like 20 grand in prizes. Let me see, that would be this much money. There you go, Andy. Uh, so hopefully I'll be able to make it down there too and meet some people, but that's going to be a pretty big race. Multi GP is running it. They're not the ones that put it on, but they are going to be like sanctioning it and running it. So that'll be a pretty good race, and cool place to see. Oh wow, looks like it's going to be a party. Well, that'll be fun. I think it'll be a cool place to do. I mean, I'm sure they're going to have a good course, especially if multi GPs involved. Chris Thomas and those guys have been putting together some very nice racetracks. So that should pretty sick. Oh, he's gonna bring the beer, huh? I'll bring some. I got some Arabic coffee I can bring. It's pretty good. Oh, do you have the Crusader 1 or 2? Don't like beer or coffee. I'll bring you tea. I got some tea, man. You want some? I'll bring you some nice dark tea, some English tea, and some milk. I know you'd like that. Uh, that's an airborne. What size do you have? Yeah, I knew it. I've got a couple of buddies that I fly with here that are British. I always hide the milk, make them dig for it. Fortunately, it's not that big of an airplane. I can't hide it too far. Yeah, the GT is pretty. The two is good. The only thing that I've asked them about, and I'm trying to work on a little mod for it too, is when I put my session mount down there, I'm filming my props. Oh yeah. Oh okay. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's right. And you had some dirt in your motor. Well, I'm glad you got it working. Um, I'll let you on that 200. So you're running the 5-inch props. That's got to be nice. That thing's probably got a ton of power. Um, you're saying too many messages. Wow. See, that's the internet police going after you. That's what you get, man. Two 180 tyrants. Well, I've talked to Dai. I told them they're working on the Tyrant 2. It will be out late February, March due to the Chinese New Year. So basically, it's going to be the same frame just with the electronics upgrade because that ship has been such a good seller for them, and it's so solid. You can really crash into anything. I've only seen one that has the carbon fiber fractured. So yeah, I bet it hauls ass. I got a video I haven't edited yet. I got a new computer coming next week, so I can finally edit video. This laptop's kind of old, but my little Crusader 2, I was flipping through my little tree gap, and I finally got this little forward backflip thing. Yeah, yeah. I've got a lot of the people. A lot of my customers bought the Emax Nighthawk that came out what 2 years ago now, and it was a nice ship, except they kind of made the speed controllers impossible to upgrade. You had to delaminate the protective layer and then hook up the 4 wires, and it was just a it was it dated itself. Since you couldn't update the speed controllers and they were Simon K, it was bad. You still can't update them through BL Heli because of the way it's hooked up, and it kind of killed that product completely. So a lot of those people, oh yeah, um, yeah, they did. A lot of those people have switched when I got the Tyrants. I call them up like, man, you guys got to get these. And that's a lot of the guys switch to those Tyrants because it's a little bit smaller, but just as fast, and solid, and they could learn to fly and just, learn some FPV on that. And it's really cool when you can get some of the older guys that come from the airplane world and, they didn't really know what they could do in FPV because they see all these, young kids doing it. I need to be able to join full size class. Oh, honey badger, yeah. Yeah, just wait, man. A good time is right after Christmas when everybody got their new goggles. They might be putting their old ones up for sale. Um, but here's the deal, Mr. Honey Badger FPV. You're gonna get so much stick time on that micro that when you jump up to something bigger, it's gonna feel like second nature to you, and it'll probably save you money in the long run because you're not crashing as much. Um, but yeah, the best way for goggles too is if you can find like a multi GP chapter and go down there and find when they're racing and say, hey guys, I'm looking to buy some goggles. Can I try yours on? Because a lot of them they're different, and some people's faces are different, so they fit differently. So it's good just to go down there and you know say, hey, can I try these on? See how they feel. I mean, you've got those head plays, which the big ones, and I've tried those on. It's very immersive. It'd be great if I was just sitting there and admiring the scenery, but I can't fly with them because it's just too much. You see your eyes wandering all over the place as opposed to a Fat Shark or a Sky Zone goggles. Oh yeah, the Cyclops. That's a really good starter one too. Yeah. Again, it's got that big face view thing, but it's a good start. It's something. Um, yeah, tiny whoop season. Are you guys all racing tiny whoops? You got little circuits set up? Oh, cool. Uh, we got some. Uh, I help run the multi GP outdoor races, and another guy in the club, he runs the both the tiny whoop races, and they just be at the. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, we got Dave's running the little multi GP tiny whip race, and I think he just set it up at the CrossFit gym is where the next one will be. I won't be able to make it to that one. Um, yeah, I was at the Hobby Town by us where we had the other race, and there's still the hula hoop set up in the back gaming area. That was kind of neat to see. That was I got a practice run out there, but I had to go to work, so I didn't get a actually get a race. Well, that's cool. Well, let's see. I don't really have any new Tiny Whip stuff coming um, because, oh yeah, my dog's got mine. My friend he's got the race tracker. I haven't gotten to play with that. Uh, I was a little bummed out. Oh yeah, we sell it Hobbytown Toledo. That's one They used to carry some of our stuff. We see them up there for the Toledo show. So you're gonna have to come over to our booth at the Toledo show. Have you been to Toledo show before and met us? We'll we'll be there this year. It's gonna be a good quad hobby stop West Toledo. Huh, I'll have to check them out. Always can add another hobby store. This tiny whoop thing is it's moving so fast, just like everything else. I'd love to stock some of these little brushed ones, but I don't really have a source better than Banggood, and I can't really beat their prices. So all I'm saving you is a week for getting it a little bit earlier, but don't really know how much you guys would pay for that. So I'm still looking around on that market. Probably by the time I figure something out, Chinese New Year will be here, and with that Chinese New Year in January, the companies always release their new products in February, early March. So it's a little bit off from what we do. It's got to be good. You got a special price for me, huh? Yeah, that Blade Inductrix, Tiny Whoop, that whole little genre is great. It's kind of like what the coaxial blade helicopters did for electric helicopters. It's really getting a lot of people into this, and it's great because this is the winter time, especially up north. It's cold, rainy, yucky. You don't want to go outside. and now you can get out there and get some stick time in. And then when spring comes, you're probably going to want something bigger because that tiny whoop's not going to really handle too well outside. And you can go out to those parks now, and you've got the skills. So it's a great intro to the hobby. And you've got all the gear. You've got a monitor, you've got the receiver. Ah, there's Dave. Whoop whoop. All right, VKGT. He's the organizer of our tiny whoop races down in Fayetteville. I think this one's in Rayford though. So dang, it's most of our multi GP group here. Hello from Dubai, guys. Yeah, I think everything's coming with race band now. I don't. I've got actually some 32 channel receivers we were trying to get rid of, and I think I got them myself for like $15, and they won't go, which is really funny because I don't know what multi GP places you guys gone to or not, but for the last all the races that we run, we haven't even run race band, so which is kind of goofy. I think we'll probably need to start doing that and try it out and see how it works. Yeah, there it is, CrossFit Rayford. 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 That's the other way from you, Dave. Is that about as far away from you as you could get? 3,600 square feet, though, man. That might have to bring my little 130 over there. No group runs race band. That's interesting. Everybody wanted to have race band, and no one really pushes it. Um, oh well. And then with the digital stuff, that's way below all that stuff, so that doesn't affect it either. So I don't know about you know. I think really what race band was helped to get people spread apart, but I think what happened is we all got more educated, and we realized you don't need a 600 milliwatt transmitter. Ah, sure, Jeff. I can talk about flight controllers. Oh, yeah. Anything in particular? Oh, no more tiny whooping for you, huh? Okay. In particular, flight controllers. Okay. Well, start with okay. Don't buy any NAS. A NAS 32 board is pretty outdated. It's an F1 board, so think generations. F1, then it jumps to F3. Oh, F3 versus F4. Oh, Jeff. Okay, I will talk about this, and I will not. I'll try to be as unbiased as possible. And the difference between an F3 and an F4 board is a couple things. For one, the F3 and the F4 refer to the processor. So an F4 processor is faster than an F3 processor. And an F7, wink wink, I wouldn't happen to have one of those laying around, is even faster. However, the F7 chip is huge. So another difference between an F3 and an F4 board is the F4 has one more UART. You have an extra UART to do something with. Okay. The important stuff about an F3 and F4 board is the limitations. An F3 board can only go up to the gyro that's on the F3 boards. Well, Kenneth, maybe. The F3 board can only go to 8K is the processor speed. So that's as fast as it's going to go. So in beta flight goes to 8K. Clean flight goes to 8K. And when people are talking about that, 8K is 8 kilohertz. So when I say 8K, that means as fast as the gyro is sampling. The CPU is sampling the gyro. The next number that people use is the PID loop. How fast is the PID loop update? And 8K is a frequency. And then the third number, uh-oh, anybody else lose it? Anybody else? Okay. Okay. So the third number would be how fast the speed controllers are getting sent messages. So then F4 board, however, the F4 processor can go up to 32K. So that's the main difference. Now, the processor speed. So the F3 board can only go to 8K. The F4 board can go to 32K. However, the limiting factor is also the software. Betaflight only goes to 8K. Boris just posted, I think last week, something about F3 is really all you need, and the KISS flight controllers only sample at 1K. So an F3 board can only go to 8K on Betaflight, and an F4 board can only go to 8K on Betaflight. Now you can run more things on an F4 board at 8K than you can the F3. For example, if you're running a Fury F3 on 8K, then you can't have the accelerometer on. But if you're running let's say it does exist, a Fury F4 on 8K, you can have your accelerometer on. Now, race flight is another version of clean flight. You know, they all kind of started with base flight, evolved to clean flight, branched off to beta flight in iNav, and race flight branched off of there as well. Race flight can run on an F3 board. It can run on the Fury. It can run on the Fury F4. The Fury F4 is out there. Kevin designed those the same time he did the F3. So there are some people that have them. They're out there. But what Raceflight did is they said that nobody else can run their boards at 32K except ours. So we're going to lock everybody else's at 8K. And they've done a whole bunch of other shady stuff. So that's why some people are buying those Revolts, which is a redesigned Revo from the Open Pilot project. And their board with their super secret gyro, which isn't really that secret anymore, they have theirs running at 32K. Does that make a difference? That's kind of up to you. A lot of people say yes, some people say no. Boris is still running 8K. You can. I don't really know if it does or not. I haven't actually flown anything at 32K. My race ship, I fly it at 8K, 8K, 32K with multi-shot, and it's pretty smooth. So I haven't tried the D-shot yet. See another difference between F3 and F4s. Well, I guess that's about the gist of the difference. Yeah, Boris is actually working on his own board, and that's an F3 board. He's got some tweaks he's making to the CPU usage, I guess, to make it even cleaner. So that's kind of the difference. Now, people always want the best and the fastest. So we do have a Fury F4 board in design. I just saw a rough draft of it about 2 hours ago. It's a little bit different than the Fury F3. It does have a new gyro in it, and it does still have the SD card. We feel that the SD card is awesome for troubleshooting. You don't have to use it so much as tuning, however, it does still help. But for troubleshooting, like, oh crap, why did my ship just do the death spin? Pull out your log and go, oh look, motor number 4 was going to full throttle, and all the other motors were normal. There's something wrong with number 4 motor speed controller. Let me swap them out. I'm done, and you're on your way. Ken, release date on the Fury F4 will not be until after the Chinese New Year. There's not enough time to get the sample, test it, make sure all the traces are good and the power's good, and then go into production. So it will be after the Chinese New Year in February. We do have a Fury F7. It's still testing. Someone asked me up that earlier, and I'm not home, obviously, like I said before, but I've got a Fury F7 on my desk at home, and Betaflight still isn't fully supporting that either, so that's not going to be for a while. Plus, a lot of stuff still doesn't work. It doesn't log The black box doesn't work, the horn doesn't work, and it's still in the testing phase. So that won't be for a while. Plus, it's a big chip and it gets hot. So that's something we got to look at. When you start using up real estate on the board space, it takes up a lot of room. So we're still trying to see if that's even needed yet. Just to say you have an F7 board because you do and it doesn't do anything. No, Jeff, I have not tried D-Shot. However, one of our other pilots with the Fury F3 board, he's running the Little B 20 amps. And yeah, hey, Wild Bill. He's running the Fury F3 with D-Shot and the Little B's 20 amps with the capacitor removed, and he's having no problems with it. So it will work. I know we've got some, the Little B speed controllers it works on, and a lot of those. I mean, you can go in that D-Shot thread and see what speed controllers you need. And it kind of one of the things that we do have coming, we've got some Cicadia 30 amp and 20 amp speed controllers coming, and then we've also got the Cicadia 4-in-1. Which one does they send us? Oh, both. Yeah, we got the Cicadia 4-in-1 30 amp speed controllers, I believe, coming that can support D-Shot. So I hope to have those on the website tomorrow. Um, looks like breakfast just opened here, so that's good. Got about, I'll do this for another 10 or 15 minutes for you guys. But so that's coming, and I'm keeping my eye out on what this D-Shot thing is doing. It's still kind of beta, but it's definitely going to be the wave of the future. The BOHeli-S didn't last long. There's something already better. So that's kind of what we deal with as resellers. We got to figure out what's going to be hot and how long, and then if we guess what time is it here? It's 6 in the morning. Do they have a filter for? Yeah, I'm not going to release too much on the Fury F4 board because it's pretty unique. Oh no, yeah, it's actually it's 6 in the morning, but I got up at 4 in the afternoon, so yeah, I'm on a totally different time clock than I even know I am. That's a good question. I don't know that. I'll have to look into that. I also asked them if they had a current sensor, because that would be really nice. Then you could just feed that into your flight controller, then out to your OSD, and boom. But I have to check on that. Huh. I'll have those 4-in-1s up on the website tomorrow probably. It's let's see. I don't know what time it is in China, but I'll be talking to them tonight. I'll also be talking to Diatone too, so I have some information on that Crusader stuff. Someone was asking me, was that here? No, that was a different chat. Sorry. Did that answer your question about the? Okay, sure. A little. Okay, here we go. Okay, Dave. Dave, you've probably got about as much product ADD as I do. You're always buying something new, which is good. But yeah, on the Crusader 2, there's a couple guys in here that have them. It's a very solid ship. It's that 5 mm carbon fiber with an epoxy thin. It's not gonna break. Right now, the Crusader 2s come with the D-Link F3 board, which is a clone of the SP Racing board. So you're limited to 4K, 2K. There's only 2 boards on it. You've got your flight controller / PDB, and then below that is your SP3 VTX and OSD as one, which makes a very, very, very clean build. It's just two boards. It's very low center of gravity, and right now they come with 2480 kV motors. So right in between a 2205 2480 kV, which is right in between the two, the 2300 and 2600. The speed controllers are through BL Heli S 30 amp speed controllers. Yeah, Wild Bill's loving his D shot. He's also a Kiss guy. Oh, yeah, Phil. Hey, Phil. This guy right here, Phil. This guy is one of those guys I switched from the Nighthawk over to the Tyrant 180. He's got a lot of time on that bird. Lives up there in snowy Wisconsin. I think it was Madison, if I remember right. But great guy. I've also put up some of his videos on our page. But yeah, so for the Crusader 2, and it's got HS11.7 camera, pretty good antenna. I get just as good reception as my other ones with the Triumph, which is kind of goofy. But you can mount a GoPro Session or the Hero 5. The next version that will be out, they're going to swap back to the 2300s, 2205 2300 kV motors, just because that's what everyone else has. I like the 2450s. You get a little bit more oomph, but not too much more compared to the 2600, so it doesn't drain your battery as much. We'll stock both motors, but for next batch, we've got 2480s coming. The only thing I don't like on it is when I put my Session 5 on the camera mount, it films the top of the camera. Kind of looks like this. Let me see if I can. It's like it just peaks up just a little bit, and then you get your props. So I'm trying to mod that. But other than that, that's a really good ship. Now, back to Phil. Yes, Phil, we are going to carry graphene batteries. Wild Bill here actually was doing some battery testing for us, and he's worked on some. Oh, there you go. There's your fix for the HV. Where the max battery voltage, I think it says, in your config tab, set it to 4.35 and then save. Or you might have to do it in the CLI, but set that and then it won't beep. Because what it's doing is it's thinking it's not a fully charged 4-cell, but a uncharged 5-cell. Interesting. Maybe they changed that. Yes. Ooh. There's always new speed controllers. But again, Wild Bill did some testing on some batteries and figured out a configuration to make them work. So we're going to do that. Basically what it is, it'll be a thin aluminum wrap on them so that it will protect them for one thing. And it's supposed to provide a little bit more power and everything. So we will have graphenes. I was trying to sell out of all the HVs and then get those in stock, but I didn't sell as many as I thought. Probably. So, but yes, we will have graphenes. We will have them before the Chinese New Year. I'm actually working on that now, what we want to put in there. We're going to have, I'm going to get a couple 5S for you crazy nuts that 4S isn't enough for you. And 15s and 13s. So just 4S and those. 2200, 2300, 4S. Yes. Yep. We have 22, 22, and 3200. Yeah, 5S. 13. Well, Phil, The 15s are the same size. I know, Phil, for that Tyrant, I need to get you stubby little 15s. Um, I hate to say it, I don't, well, but it works good. I got a tattoo 1500 to test. 1300, 1550, and that would fit on your Tyrant really well because it's not as long as our 50. Yes, yeah. We will have 5S graphenes. I might even get like one or two 6S's because I know Brad wanted to tear it up with that. I don't I don't know why he wants to fly that fast into a tree, but yeah. See, I like the long ones because it spreads it out, but everybody's a little bit different on that one. Beef Supreme. All right, so we've got the beef supreme. We've got our iceberg lettuce. I don't know, man. It's like I'm at Taco Bell. Well, if you guys don't know, right there's one of the best two pilots we got: beef supreme and iceberg on the racing circuit. Wild Bill kicking it crazy with his freestyle. He's making things look so easy. Um, oh, there's my Hawaiian buddy. Oh, Jeff. Okay. Um, Good question. Why don't we have XT60s? The reason we don't is because a lot of the batteries for a while there we were really wholesaling a lot of batteries to people that needed EC3s. So I needed plug and play with that. So that's why everything comes with EC3s. Then this whole like crazy quad thing happened, and now everything is XT60s. It seems like everybody's running XT60s on all the quads, and they're coming with that. So we're slowly transitioning over there. You'll notice the HV batteries are all XT60. Our 1500 for 670Cs are XT60. I don't, and then we discontinued our 1300s because they were the same size as the 1500. Didn't make sense carrying the two batteries like that. So that's kind of why we don't have a lot of XT60s out there, just because what we were selling them for before required the EC3s. So that's kind of what you're saying. But what size would you like in XT60? Okay. Yeah, Jeff, we got the 15s, but not 13s. Like I said before, that's because of the size are the same. In the graphene packs that we're looking at, the size is different between the two batteries. So we will have both those. We will only have them in XT60, and like I said, I hope to have those before Christmas. It seems like, I mean, Josh kind of had a. I sent Josh a whole 5 of our batteries, our HV batteries, to test, and they did really well for like 30 cycles. And then he said that they didn't perform as well. Um, Graphenes, they're a little, yeah, they're a slightly bigger, but not by much. Um, but it seems like from the testing and people running them, the graphenes give out a little bit more solid power. The HVs were yes, B, 1500 graphenes, 4, 5, and 6S, because I know Brad wants to go crazy with that. Um, the HVs were actually really light. I was surprised at that, but I don't think the chemistry is really worth um, the chemistry didn't really work for how we used them. You know, uh, for me personally, they were good, but I seem to get better life out of my regular lipos than the HV ones. Um, so I don't know why that is. I wish I did. But I think the graphene, I got a couple graphenes from my supplier that I was testing. Yeah, and they work great. I mean, I've been flying them. I probably got 40 cycles on them and nothing. No way. Alan's in the house. All right, guys, this is Alan Hayes, the Alan Hayes from Hayes Hobby House. This guy, this guy has been very supportive. He helped me out when I first moved to Fayetteville. Said, "Yeah, we'll take some of your stuff in our hobby store." Uh, and ever since then, he gets like salesmen come in and hand delivered. Um, we just need to kidnap him and get him out to the flying field. I'm thinking some of you guys got special skills and know how to do that. So um, I'm not saying we should, but I'm saying we should get him out there and flying. He's also been very helpful in supporting the growth of the multi GP club we have, donating lots of flags. So if you're ever in Fayetteville, check him out. And I guess Alan, you should know this too. We'll be getting some graphene batteries. It looks like everybody on this page wanted me to get some, so we will be getting those. Um, uh, I'm thinking of doing a new battery name for these, something like um, made with unicorn tears. Then have and have like a unicorn crying as there's a quad crash into a tree or their house or something. I don't know, um, but that's kind of what I'm going. Uh, Lipo's out for Harambe. I don't know what that is, but I'm a little disconnected from. If that's news, I don't know. You better, Alan. So, well, well, I appreciate you guys telling me like some stuff because I try really hard to find out what people are wanting to get, and as it's just very difficult as this hobby's gone as fast as it's going. I mean, ask Alan that he's seen as much crazy stuff as I have, and trying to get what people want and in their in a price that they can have it and available. You know, keeping stuff in stock and not too overstocked is tricky. So definitely, I see the calling for the graphene batteries. Luckily, when it first, when put, yeah, there you go. When the graphenes first came out, the price, my price on a graphene was like $46, and that wasn't going to work. I couldn't sell that with what Hobby King was selling theirs for and everything. But my price has come down considerably now that it's not new technology anymore, and so we should be able to get some of those out there. I'm thinking like maybe some like 220 one cell graphenes, night iceberg for the tiny webs. You know, you need a little tiny web graphene, but so that's definitely so basically we'll be getting in new batteries. We'll have Dell props. Um, and to the F3, F4 question, we will have an F4 board. Like I said, it'll be coming in February. End of February, we'll have the new diatone chip out. Um, I don't know what else. I think that's really about it that I know of. I'm always looking for good ideas. Oh, we'll probably get those Armaton oomph motors. We don't have a 2206 motor. Uh, they look like a good motor. I've got one of my friends is flying them. Hopefully, he's got it on a ship already, and test them out. So we worked with Chris before on another project, so I can get those. And Oh yeah, I think this was more crazy than the electric helicopter boom. That was pretty crazy in itself. Um, I mean, guys were buying like 6 to 12, 2,200 packs, 2,200 three cells a week when the T-Rex came out, um, and Horizon had that, the coaxial and then the little blade CP. That was a pretty big boom, but I think this is a little bit different, different group of people. So, but well, guys, it's 6:30 here in Dubai. I've been on for about an hour and 10. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and saying hi. And I'm gonna go have breakfast, get some good hummus. Yes, it is a breakfast food. And I'm gonna be working on these batteries and getting all this new stuff up on the website. We did sell out of all our Diatone Tyrants or Crusader 2s over the weekend. So I've got more already ordered. They're shipping this week. So keep checking by and keep sending me notes of, hey, what, check this out if you see something cool. I mean, I can't see everything on the internet. So, and if you like what I do, just tell other people about me. That's the most thanks I can get for helping all you guys out, is you just tell people about me and stuff like that. So I appreciate it. You guys have a good night, and I'll try to do this again sometime. It worked out pretty good. Thanks a lot. What's that? Oh yeah, if you guys need your FPV logos, okay, how do I stop this?